Hey, it's Candy. Welcome back to my channel. Today is multifaceted. We're going to do a get ready with me. We're going to do some chatty stuff, talk about an article that I want to talk about. And we're going to do a full face of makeup with one brand. I know, it's overwhelming. So, the full face of makeup that we're going to do, if you can't tell from the title, is Bronx Colors. Whoops. Now, I'd never heard of Bronx Colors until I was on the Ulta website, and I noticed that everything was on sale for Bronx Colors. And I was like, well, we're doing this full face thing, so let's do it. I like their packaging a lot. It's really cute. And I got this full face of makeup for $26.41. That's incredible. So, let's get into this. I have nothing on my face, and I want to start talking. The article that I want to bring up to you guys, let me pull it back up, is Everything You Know About Obesity is Wrong. Okay, and it was on, looks like it's the Highline section of the Huffington Post. And it's a very long article. I've spent a lot of time reading it and I'm not even done. But there are some things that already I want to bring up to you guys. Let me see how far I still have to go. I'm just getting to the part where they're speaking about couples with contrast. So a very skinny man and an overweight woman, or the opposite. You know, one partner's big, one partner's small. So I haven't even got through the second part of the article, but I took some screenshots of some things that I wanted to talk about. And so I think we can start there after we break into this Bronx Color stuff. So first thing I'm going to pull out is the Bronx Colors Waterproof Foundation. How did I lose? I didn't lose my scissors, they're just right here. Boy. If you hear some noises, I have my window open because it's such a nice day out. It's like 60-ish. It's only supposed to get up to like 70. It's fairly, well, it's not early anymore. It's almost 11, but I've been up and out of the house and back. Ooh, so pretty. Look at how pretty this is. I got the color Nude. WPF03 Nude. Oh, and it's got a pump. I thought it... See, the lid kind of turns a little bit. But it is a pump, which is always nice. Tati loves a pump because it's cleaner. So... Oh, not long to get it out either. So that's 2.5, 3 pumps. I seriously love this packaging. I love the frosted glass. So I've got my dampened beauty blender. You guys know I don't super like a beauty blender for foundation, but I do want to try it again. Oops. Got it in my mouth, so that's fun. Alright, let's... You guys thought it was hilarious the last time I said let's bounce this shit in, but that's what we doing. I think this is a really good skin match for me too. A really good foundation match. Even if it is taking out some of my a little bit of my tan color that I have, this will be great for all year. I also like how it's applying. It seems to be shearing out really nicely on my skin. The problem that I have with beauty blenders usually is that it's so blotchy. But this seems to be going really well. And you guys know I don't like super full coverage. I'm like a very light foundation person. My hair is bothering me already. I think I'm covered. Let me do a quick check. Yeah. My face doesn't feel sticky, and not a lot of product went into my beauty blender, which is nice. So here's the hydrating concealer boosting. Oh, boosting hydrating concealer. I thought it was like boo sting. Oh gosh. I got the color. No clue. Hello? Is there a color? Can you tell me what color you are? It's made in Dusseldorf, Germany. That was a terrible, terrible thing. Looks like BHC01. And this is a cruelty-free brand, just an FYI. So let's get some concealer going while we take the first part of this article. So, as early as 1969, research shows that losing just 3% of your body weight resulted in a 17% slowdown in your metabolism. A body-wide starvation response that blasts you with hunger hormones and drops your internal temperature until you rise back to your highest weight. Keeping weight off means fighting your body's energy regulation system and battling hunger all day, every day, for the rest of your life. And I tried to explain that to my doctors and to my nutritionist. We gotta talk about this nutritionist. This nutritionist that I went to, when I started talking about macros and the keto diet and intermittent fasting and things like that, she had no idea what I was talking about. She knew what macros were, obviously, but she didn't know like what I was talking about. And at that time, I was watching a lot of bodybuilders, and they were super into macros and breaking down their macros, and so I knew a lot about it. And I felt like I knew more than she did, which was a tad concerning and kind of annoying, to be honest. And so I didn't go back to her. I just found a few good articles on Google and let that lead the way. These are the places that I use concealer. That's it. Under my eyes and on my eyelids for primer, for eyeshadow primer. I have went to nutritionist after nutritionist after nutritionist, dietitians, weight loss not camps, but like, what am I trying to say? Like, weight loss seminars is what I'm trying to get to. And I feel like my knowledge of nutrition and how the body digests food and things like that is immense. It's huge. I feel like I know a lot. Putting those things into practice is another thing altogether. So that's where I'm coming from on that. Alright, I'm going to set my face with this Bronx Colors Illuminating Face Powder. I'm a little scared of the illuminating part, to be honest. I don't like a lot of sparkle on my face. Honestly, so far, I'm really liking these products. I thought the concealer blended out very nicely. But I haven't seen many people talking about, oh yeah, that's not okay. Maybe we aren't setting my face today. Let's open up this graffiti makeup set. It has 25 eyeshadows, a blusher, a lip gloss, and some applicators. And I got this because it was like $10 and it covered the blush, the eyeshadow, and the lips. But it looks like that illuminating face powder is going to be more like a highlight. Oh wow, this is super nice. Alright, let's pop this open. So there's the eyeshadows, the giant mirror. How's the bottom open? Does it... Okay, wait. Do I have to open the top first? Oh, it slides! Okay! Alright! I guess if I'd looked at the picture, I would have known that. So, there we go. Yeah, there's no highlight in here, so I can use that as a highlight. I also got a strobing palette, which I don't think I'm going to open now. No. Yes, no, yes. Yes, no, yes. I'm going to put this in my giveaway box because I don't necessarily need this part of it. And we are going to go in with this illuminating powder, I think, in a little bit. Alright, so anyway. When I was losing weight, now if you don't know, in fact, it came up on my thing today. Back in December of 2014, I started a weight loss journey. And it was because my doctor told me I was borderline diabetic, and I did not want that. And so, over the course of about 18 months, I lost 125 pounds. And you can see this is 10 months difference. And I had lost about 70 pounds at that point. 70 or 80 pounds. But after about a year, my weight loss started to dwindle, like, so badly. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit. My weight loss started to dwindle, and I couldn't understand why. I was eating 1,600 calories when I had been eating 2,000. I had went down to 1,800, and then I went down to 1,600. And my dietitian just kept telling me that, well, you just need to take it down by another 200. Take it down by another 200. I'm sorry, for a woman my size in the high 300s, eating 1,200 calories is not healthy. You're not getting everything you need, and you're literally putting yourself in starvation mode. And so my metabolism was getting so slow because I had lost so much weight in such basically a short amount of time that my body was like, no, you're taking all our nutrients, like, stop doing that. And it was holding on to everything still, which was really discouraging for someone who had been doing so well for so long. I was averaging between 8 to 10 pounds a month, and it was, like, really good for me. Alright, so here's the brow products. We've got a brow highlight, a lighter brown, and a darker brown. You guys know I'm a darker brown. So I'm going to take that and attempt to do my brows while I continue talking. Because you guys don't need to know exactly what I'm doing to my brows, because you can watch and be horrified just as much as I am. Actually, this is a really nice color match for me. And so the article goes on to talk about people going to the doctor and being ignored by their doctors, basically. So here's from a family medical doctor in Phoenix. He gets an alert from his electronic health record software every time she's about to see every time she's about to see a patient who is above the overweight threshold. The reason for this is that physicians are often required in writing to prove to hospital administrators and insurance providers that they have brought up their patient's weight and formulated a plan to bring it down, regardless of whether that patient came in with arthritis or a broken arm or a bad sunburn. Failing to do that could result in poor performance reviews, low ratings from insurance companies, or being denied reimbursement if they refer patients to specialized care. That's basically bullying the doctors into telling you you're fat every time you're in there, and that's so discouraging. I refuse to go to a doctor who has body shamed me. Like, I refuse to go back to them. And I actually prefer a doctor who is a little bit overweight themselves, because I don't feel like they are as judgmental. And that's awful, but it's the truth. I feel like if a doctor is a little overweight themselves, they're not so quick to tell you that you're fat, and then that's all it is. And there's this story about this woman who in her obituary pleads with women to push for health care for themselves instead of letting their doctor just tell them that they're fat and that's the solution to everything. She ended up having, like, stomach cancer, I believe, and her doctors just kept telling her it was because she was fat that she was having these issues, and she ended up dying because they did not catch the cancer quick enough. I feel like I did not start my brow in the correct spot. It looks like it. And so I'm a firm believer in telling people to advocate for themselves. And what that means is when you go into the doctor, if they start to bring up your weight or say, oh, if you just lost weight, that would go away. No. Push it. That doctor works for you. You don't work for the doctor. That doctor is there to help you. You have to advocate for yourself and push for yourself. And I wish I had learned that a long time ago. And even a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I wish I had done that more. And it's something that I tell Roger all the time because he will not go to the doctor simply because he knows all they're going to do is tell him that he's fat, tell him to lose weight, and everything will be fine. And it's just not true. That's just not how the body works. Like, yes, being obese can bring on certain health risks and certain health concerns, but that is not how your whole body runs. Your whole body does not run on if you're fat or not. It's not how it works. And this article is super good. I will link it below because I think no matter what your size, it'd be good to read. One of the first people in the article is Carissa, who is also known as Fat Girl Flow. She does blogging and fashion stuff for YouTube, and she, like I said, she has a blog. I think those eyebrows are not that bad. I'm like okay with it. And like I said, she's one of the first people in the article. Okay, so then we're talking about this guy named Andrew, who is a musician and consultant and has been big his whole life. A few years ago on a routine visit, Andrew's doctor weighed him, announcing that he was dangerously overweight and told him to diet and exercise, offering no further specifics. Should he go on a low-fat diet, low-carb, become a vegetarian? Should he do CrossFit, yoga? Should he be buying a Thigh Master? He didn't even ask me what I was already doing for exercise. At the time, I was training for serious winter mountaineering trips, hiking every weekend, and going to the gym 4 times a week. Instead of a conversation, I got a soundbite. It felt like shaming me was the entire purpose. And I find that all the time. That I've been shamed by doctors my entire life, and it's incredibly frustrating and incredibly hurtful, to be honest. I'm going to take this highlight shade and just go under my brow a little bit. I find that the highlight shades in a brow kit do not work very well. It's just a lighter powder, and it just is not what I'm looking for an eyebrow highlight, so we ain't gonna be doing that. But I do really like the color. This is a lot like when I do my eyebrows with eyeshadow. Okay, and so, okay, all of this makes patients more likely to avoid doctors. 3 separate studies have found that fat women are more likely to die from breast and cervical cancers than non-fat women, a result partially attributed to their reluctance to see doctors and get screenings. Erin Harrop, a researcher at the University of Washington, studies higher weight women with anorexia who, contrary to the size stereotype of most media depictions, are twice as likely to report vomiting, using laxatives, and abusing diet pills. That's sad. Thin women, she discovered, take around 3 years to get into treatment, while her participants spent an average of 13.5 years waiting for their disorder to be addressed. It's so sad. It makes me angry. It makes me super angry that this is the state that we're in. Alright, I'm going to do my eyeshadow now. And they include this little guy. I ain't going to use this. I'm going to use my brushes just because that's what I prefer. Now, I've been fat shamed by a couple doctors. And these are just, you know, one of them happened just like a year ago. And another one happened back when I was like 17, 18. So I'll start with that one. There's a lot of cool colors in here. I think I'm going to go in with this one here and just start my base. So I went to this doctor, and he was Asian, so I'm going to be using a racist Asian accent. No, I'm not. But he was a gynecologist, and my mom had went to him. She really liked him. And so I was like, all right, I'll go. You know, I think it was one of my first exams, and I must have been 18 because I did not become sexually active until I was 18. And I went into him, and it was before the exam, and he was asking me all these questions, and he goes, "Are you sexually active?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I've been with a couple people. I've been with a couple partners." And he goes, "You know, lie to me." And I go, I'm not lying to you." And he goes, "Sometimes you big girls, you come in and you lie." And I was like, is this fucking happening to me right now? Like, I wanted to put my fucking pants on and get the fuck out of there. But I didn't. I should have. The nurse wasn't in there. It was just me and him, and it was so awkward and so annoying. And I just was so irritated with this guy. I never went back to him because I was so offended. I think I'm gonna go with a green look today. I don't find these to be incredibly pigmented, but I'm also not seeing a ton of fallout. So I've taken this up into my crease and onto my eyelids. So that was one of my first experiences being shamed by a doctor, and there have been a couple different ones where they're like, "You should really consider weight loss surgery," and then I tell them that I already had it. Even when I had like just had it and lost a bunch, they would still be like, "Well, you should probably do better because you've only lost 150 pounds and you really need to lose like another 150. And I'm like, do you know how hard it was to like get through all this? Like, sorry, bud, not gonna happen right away. And so, You know, it's something that I just deal with, and I shouldn't have to. And so another part of the article talks about this woman went in, she was having bowel issues, and the female doctor she went to showed her, it was either an ultrasound or an MRI, I think it was an MRI. And she pointed out, she's like, see all this fat? See that skinny woman in there yelling to get out? When the woman was there for, like, checking out her cervix to make sure she didn't have cysts. Like, come on. What are you doing to this poor woman? Like, she's already thinking she has cancer, and you're in there fat shaming her to her face. Like, stop. Like, it's not okay. Like, why do certain people feel the need to point out your fatness or point out what you've done? Or what you haven't done for your body is really what it comes down to. Alright. So this was another one that I've always been concerned about when looking for a job. Oh, I forgot to keep getting distracted. I forgot to tell you about my other fat shaming doctor that was terrible. So it was similar to this last story that I just told you about the MRI. I had had an ultrasound or an MRI done. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it showed like my insides, and I have a really bad hernia from my weight loss surgery where my intestines are now coming out of where they cut me open, and it was getting really painful and causing me to be nauseous all the time. And so I went to the doctor seeing if they could fix it or like what my options were, if we could at least like get me some relief. And this doctor made me cry on different occasions, on multiple occasions. When I first went in and I told him about it, and I was sitting there and, you know, I was telling him what kind of pain I was in and stuff like that, and he comes over to me and he grabs my stomach and he shakes it and he says, "That's because of this." And I was like, excuse me? He goes, "If you weren't so big, this wouldn't have happened." And I was like, okay. So if I wasn't so big, a hernia wouldn't have happened from a surgery. It's very common to get a hernia from a surgery. But he had me so freaked out that I completely believed what he was saying, when in actuality he's full of shit. It would have happened to a skinny person, or it could have happened to a skinny person, it could have happened to a fatter person. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, it could happen to anyone. Instead of treating me as someone who is there to have a hernia checked out, he treated me as a fat patient or a fat person who just needed to lose weight. Okay, that's a ton of fallout on this teal shade. The color payoff on these is not so great. It's blending fairly well, but the fallout on that shade was pretty bad. I'm kind of liking that look though. And so I felt super shitty about myself, and I'm gonna try to set my under eyes with one of these eyeshadows. There we go. I've got green under this one and on my nose. Should have done my eyes first, because now I feel like I have to go back in with concealer. But oh, yeah, that doctor. And so he ordered the MRI, and I had to go back to see him to get the results. Oh, and I cried after that first visit, I did not let him see me cry. But the second visit, we're checking out the MRI, and he does the same thing as the other lady's doctor did, and okay, that's better. He points out the hernia, and then he points out all of this fat that is over, you know, my organs and stuff, and he goes, see all this? This isn't good. You shouldn't have this. There shouldn't be any of this. And I was like, oh, okay, there shouldn't be any fat on any person. Like, all right, whatever you say. And he just kept dwelling on it and just kept pointing it out instead of showing me where the hernia was and what the options were, which, according to him, there are no options. It is impossible to do surgery on someone for a hernia that is my size, because it'll just happen again. That's what he kept telling me. And I was like, fine, dude, like, whatever, like, I see that you're not gonna help me with this, so, you know, whatever. And I ended up crying after that episode, or after that visit too, and it was so frustrating to me that he couldn't look past that. He couldn't look past my fatness to help me. It was very frustrating. Alright, this is the Bronx Color Fat and Fine. How ironic. Dual tip, thin or thick, long wear eyeliner. Okay. Let's see what this is about. My current doctor is actually a nurse practitioner, and he's a big guy. And I like going to him because, oh, that's interesting. It's like a felt tip with a big ball on it. I don't see how it's dual tipped. But anyway, my current doctor is a big guy. I really like him. He treats me like a patient. And while he does bring up my weight sometimes, it's in a very caring and fun way. Like, he'll joke about how we both need to lose some weight or something. And I appreciate that about him a lot. And that's why I continue to go to him. And I'm really sad that he's retiring in a year. And then yesterday, I went to the OBGYN, and I really have had some bad experiences with an OBGYN. I told you about the doctor I had when I was young, and I had a panic attack when I first went back to the OBGYN, and this was 5 or 6 years ago. I walked into the office and I just started freaking out, and the nurse was like trying to help me, and I was just, I couldn't, I like didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to go through it. I didn't, I was scared, and she saw that in me, and she calmed me down, and oh, I think they mean if it's flat and then skinny. I think they mean if I go this way. Yeah, I get a thinner line this way. So she calmed me down, offered to get me a different appointment. I was like, no, I'm here, we're doing this. And the doctor came in and met me. No! And talked to me. You guys see what just happened? How many times am I going to have to redo this concealer? Oh, man. Alright, we're going to have to redo that concealer again. But afterwards, I was fine. But the anxiety of having someone be down there and be judging me from my worst angle, you know what I mean, from down up, is horrifying. And I can see why women avoid going to the OBGYN. But the one I have now is amazing. He has never brought up my weight. He was really helpful with me trying to diagnose my PCOS and what I should do with it. When we did talk about diet, I brought it up. And I asked him, you know, I've read this PCOS diet and this one, and he goes, well, those sound really good from what I know. And he didn't act like he knew everything. And he goes, from what I know, you know, this can help, this can help. And he is so patient and caring. And I pray that everyone can find a doctor like him, especially an OB doctor that will actually help you with the issues you're having instead of just telling you to lose weight and your PCOS will go away. Because that's a complete lie. Okay, so the problem with this eyeliner is it's very wet. And so it kind of, for me, gets on things. Like my eyelashes. And I have long eyelashes, and so kind of got on my eye a little bit. But I think that looks good. I do like it. So, like I said, I pray that other people can find a doctor like him because he is amazing. It comes with this teeny tiny little applicator that I'm not going to use. It's very soft though. I think I could use that for under eyes. Alright, so I'm going to go in with this and use this here, this blush here. And I'm kind of, it's pretty like peachy. So I'm going to attempt to go over most of my face with it. Just add some color to my face. Concentrate a lot here when I come back, but kind of give my, it's kind of working as bronzer for me. And I believe I saw Wayne Goss do a video on that. So then I'm gonna, yeah, concentrate it here on my cheeks. And I'm going to go in with a makeup wipe and clean up my under eyes, and then we'll go back to them. So yes, my current doctors are great, and it's because after years and years of being shamed for being fat, going to the doctor, and not being treated as a patient, but being treated as a fat person, like strictly fat, like not that I had anything else going on. It's nice to find people that want to help you. This looks awful. But again, I encourage you to advocate for yourself at the doctor's office and don't let them tell you you're not worthy of treatment, because you are. Okay. So let's move on to the next part of this article. This is about fat shaming and work. And when I was looking for a job before I got my current job, I was so scared. It just started pouring rain. I'm so glad I didn't take my car to get washed. I was going to. Where is that? There it is. This says, ugh, turn it back on. Come on. Research consistently finds that larger Americans, especially larger women, earn lower salaries and are less likely to be hired and promoted. In a 2017 survey, 500 hiring managers were given a photo of an overweight female applicant. 21% of them described her as unprofessional, despite having no other information about her. Like, that's what I'm so afraid of. And it's just, I worry that if I ever have to find a different job, that I'm going to be discriminated against. And I've felt that way in the last, I think, the last 3 years. I've applied for a couple jobs and I've went on a couple interviews, and I feel like as soon as I walk in the door, they're looking at me like, oh honey, no. Like, it's awful, to be honest with you guys. Not a fan of this liner, but I'll try it some more since I've already used it on my face. I'm actually going to put this other eyebrow pencil in the giveaway as well, because I don't think I need it. I'm going to use the eyeshadow palette to do my under eyes, to line them. And so, as a fat person looking for a job, I feel like I'll be discriminated against as soon as I walk in the door. And that sucks. That sucks to feel that way. Alright, let me line my bottom lashes. I'm trying to find... Yeah, this one looks good. I'm going to go in with the dark green. So to read those statistics is really unnerving for me and makes my anxiety even worse about if I ever have to look for a job. And I know it's not just women that are discriminated against. It's men too, and so then I worry about that for Roger if he has to look for a job. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, the solution is just lose weight, fatty. Okay, because it's so easy to lose weight, right? Because I haven't been on diets my entire life. And I think that's why I'm being so lax on myself right now, is because I don't feel like if I push myself too hard, my body is not going to be used to bringing the calories down, changing what I'm eating. I'm going to use this illuminating face powder as highlighter. Oh yeah, that works really nice as a highlighter. It's a really pretty highlight, actually. Thank you for the tip on only doing highlight here instead of on the balls of my cheek, or the apples of my cheek, because I was doing that. And I do like this better. I replied to your comment, so hopefully you know who you are, because I don't remember. Alright, again, I'm not through this whole article, but these are things that I screenshot that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, so here's something I thought was super, like, mean and funny. Like, in a cruel twist, one effect of weight bias is that it actually makes you eat more. The stress hormone cortisol, and the one evolution designed to kick in when you're being chased by a tiger or, it turns out, rejected for your looks, increases appetite, reduces the will to exercise, and even improves the taste of food. What? So something, well, it's not funny at all. I'm going to put some highlight here too. Yesterday I was driving in traffic, and you might see this in a vlog, but I was sitting in traffic and I'm talking to the camera, and this gentleman is in the passenger seat of a work vehicle, and they pass by me, and he yells out the window, "Whale!" and does this face. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I literally was in shock, and I'm sure you'll see it in the vlog, but like, maybe I'll just insert it here. And then, wow, you guys just saw me get fat shamed. That's fun. So, has that ever happened to you? You're just driving through traffic and some guy rolls down his window and goes, "Whale!" at you, and then does that. Has that ever happened to you? I was so shocked that I had been publicly fat shamed, and like, I couldn't believe it. And so in that moment of like disbelief that this actually happened and a grown-ass adult man decided it was okay to yell at me in traffic, I didn't see what company he was with, so I'm kind of hoping when I go to look at the footage that maybe I'll see it and maybe I'll call. But I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm that bitch, you know what I mean? Here is the Seductive Black mascara. I like their packaging a lot. I'd never heard of this brand, but I really am digging it so far. It's a very thick formula. Can you see that? How it's kind of gummy on there. Does this have fibers in it? Doesn't say it does. Is it dried out? No, there, we're finally getting some product. All day yesterday, all I could think about was how this grown adult man fat shamed another adult in their car at 8 o'clock in the morning. What? Okay, this one has mascara, and then this one doesn't. It's an okay mascara. It's nothing like ba-bam. It's not ba-bam. Can you guys see all the like hairs on here? I don't know. It just looks funny to me. I wonder if it's this wand, if I like use a different wand. Let me put this wand down. I have individual wands that I can use. So I have these. Let's try that. I just don't know if there's any product in here, like, for real. It's still very hairy in here. Oh. Okay, there is product in here. It's a very dry mascara formula. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Is that it's so dry when I'm used to like fairly damp mascaras. Meh. Meh. Alright, so the final thing we need is some lips. We've got this little teeny lip brush, which is hard as heck, so I'm not going to use that. See if I can find a good lip brush. Do I have lip brushes? Yes. This one right here is a lip brush. We're gonna go in with this color here. Now these are just glosses, so they're not gonna be like super pigmented or anything. I don't really like putting on lipstick or lip gloss with a brush. Feels weird to me. I might try to do something fun with this lip. No real smell, but it's going on like, I don't know, I don't like how it's going on. Okay. Here was something that I know that I've talked about before. A 2017 survey found that 89% of obese adults have been bullied by their romantic partners. Emily, the counselor, said she spent her teens and 20s sleeping with guys I wasn't interested in because they wanted with me. In her head, a guy being into her was a rare and depletable resource she couldn't afford to waste. I was desperate for men to give me attention. Sex was a good way to do that. Totally. I'm totally was the same way at that age. And I thought my worth was determined by a man wanting me. And I've come to find out that that's not true. That's not being good to yourself to allow that to happen to you. Alright, I'm gonna wipe this color off and go with another color. Alright. I'm going to go in with a slightly darker color. Kind of focus it in the middle area. If you're going to use a lip brush, probably a lip liner is a good idea. Finally, I'm going to take this pink and dab it in the middle here. I'm going to use my finger. See how that like highlights the lip? I love that. I just have kind of discovered that. I like it a lot. Alright, so that is Bronx Colors. I thought we actually did fairly well with that. We talked a lot during that. Again, I'm only halfway through that article, so if I find more things that I want to screenshot from that, I will be talking about it again because that's how I am. So let's pull the hair down. I just went to the tire shop this morning. That was the only thing I did, so I just pulled my hair back and didn't even bother with makeup this morning. But there we go. Full face of Bronx Colors. I actually really like this look now that I'm like kind of looking at it. It actually turned out really well. I really like this variety palette. Like, this would be really great for traveling because it has all that in one. I actually really like this foundation. I think it's a really good match for me. I actually like the brow kit too. If you watch the full face of Hard Candy, the brow kit was terrible, but this highlight, so nice. And the concealer was fairly good. I mean, it's concealer. It wasn't awful. I did not like the eyeliner that much, but I will play with it some more. The mascara is a big fail for me. And I guess that's about it. I guess that's all we had. Have you guys heard of Bronx Colors before? And if you had, what's your favorite, you know, thing that they sell? I'm fairly surprised, especially since I got this stuff for so cheap. I will link everything that I used down in the description. I will link the article that we talked about. We can further discuss that some more too. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love you guys.